Good day, viewers. Welcome back to Yotsume God Reunion. Shut up, late. So now we're here in Tokyo. Yep. So let's see what's gonna happen. I kind of forgot. It's the same as the Yotsume God in the phone, but it's a little different on this one. Tokyo. I keep tapping the screen. Nothing's happening. September, after summer vacation, when the heat still lingers.
進路希望調
A
査
survey on future paths. On the way home from Kita Junior High School, I was staring at a piece of paper my homeroom teacher gave us. Below the title survey on future path, there was two choices: proceeding to high school or employment. And below that, there were three empty fields for me to write down my desired destinations. But all I had written down on the paper was my name and class number. Now that my 10th grade summer vacation has passed, it was time for me to seriously think about my future. After letting out countless signs, I put the paper back in my backpack. I stopped by the supermarket to buy groceries. Looking at the sales flyer at the entrance, I tried to remember what we had in the right fridge at home and grabbed some groceries, condiments that were running low on, and snacks, put them in the basket. After paying for everything, I headed home carrying the heavy bags. As I was approaching the last corner before my house, heard the voice of people quartering. So I peek in a corner, stop and eavesdrop. Peek from the corner, stop and eavesdrop. I think I'll just peek at the corner. I know that is usually during the middle of the night when drunk are walking around, but it's still the middle of the day. I timidly peeked around the corner, and there I saw my dad quartering with someone in front of our apartment.
お父さん
Dad?
おい、
Mike,
もう帰ってきた
you're
のか。
home already? My dad Makoto looked at me with surprised look on his face.
どうしたの
What's wrong? The person who was quartering with my dad turned around.
お父さん
Dad? It was a gentle-looking man wearing glasses. You may not trust him. He looked at me if I had seen some particular.
驚いたな。
Wow, you have a daughter, Makoto?
お前には関係がない
It's
だろ
none
う。
of your business.
相変わらず
You
口が
bad
悪いな。
mouth hasn't changed a bit.
兄だろ
I'm your brother, remember?
う。それに、
Besides, if
誠の
if
娘な
she's
ら
your daughter,
私に
then
も関係があると
then
思
it's
うよ。
my business.
お兄さん
What? Your brother?
そうだよ。
Yes, my name is
私は
Luigi
相良
Sagara,
修二。
Makoto's older
誠
brother.
の兄だ。
I guess that makes
君
my
の
me
おじに
your
あたる
uncle.
ね。はじめまして。
Nice to
舞さん。
meet you, Mai.
はじめまし
Nice
て
to meet you too.
まあいい。
Mai,
聞かなくていい。
you don't have to talk to him.
本当にひどい言い
That's a bit
草だな。
harsh. I'm meeting my
私はメイ
niece
と
for
初
the
めて会う
first
んだよ。
time.
関係ない。
It doesn't
家と
matter.
は絶縁してる。
I've cut all ties with our family.
絶縁と言っても、
Even so,
家族の
family
縁は簡
ties
単に
cannot
切
be
れるものでは
broken
な
that
いよ。
easily. That's
だか
why
ら
I
こう
came
やって
to
会い
see
に
you
来た
like
という
this
の。
too. This, no?
来てほしいと俺が言ったか。
Did I ask
い
you
いから
to?
もう帰って
Just
くれ。
leave already.
誘いには
I'm
ならない
not talking to you up to taking up your offer. My father raised his voice, and I shrugged back. I never seen my dad, who is usually so quiet, in such a rage. Standing in front of me, in front of my dad, who's glaring at the devilish way. The man who said he was my uncle spoke in a calm manner.
舞さんだって無関係な
It should
話
be
じゃない
my
はずだ。
business. It should be my business
Makoto.
too.
本当
Makoto,
にそれでいい
are
と思
you
っている
really
のか？
thinking about keeping it this way?
誠が目の敵にしてい
Our father
た
and
父と母は亡くなった。
Who you
昔
loaded
とは違
are
う。
dead.
も
It's
う
not
大丈夫
like
なん
he
だよ。
used to be. It's okay now.
総一兄さんだって
Suichi is probably
誠が来て
waiting
くれ
for
るの
you
を待っ
too.
ている。
総一兄さんは
Suichi is.
よくよく考えることだ。
Please have a
誠の気持
good
ちだけ
think
ではな
about
く
it. Not just
そ
for
の子
your
の
own
気持ちも
feeling, but mine as well. Saying this, Uncle Suiji walked past me and left. Having encountered something so sudden, I wasn't able to move from when I was standing. My dad frowned and his face was
お
pale.
父さん
Dad,
あの
I had many things I wanted to ask him, but the words wouldn't come out. As I continued to stare at my dad, in silence, he glared over at me and mumbled,
すまん
Sorry, I
まだ
don't want to
何も
talk
聞かない
about
で
it
くれ
right now. Okay,
うちに戻ろう
let's go inside. He walked towards me and took the shopping bag from me in slightly rough manner. He silently went back to the apartment stairs. All I could do was follow him. I live with my dad in an apartment in Tokyo. I don't know my mom, grandparents, or my relatives, whenever they're dead or alive, or why I only have a father. What I once asked my dad about it when I was younger.
どうして私にはお
Why
母さんがいない
don't I
の
have a mom? My friends did. A mom that would cook for me, sleep with me, and read me stories. That kind of mother. But Dad only made a sad face and never answered my question. I haven't asked about my family since then. I looked away all the question in my heart and put a lid on them because I felt that I must not ask about them. That if I went to ask, then something would break. Among the awkwardness, I made dinner and quietly ate at the tasteless food. Even during dinner, my father never lost his grim expression. Something seemed to be on his mind. Even the basketball broadcast, which he usually watched intently, barely seemed to catch his attention. Start exploring. He also seemed to have no appetite. My dad is silent with a solemn look on his face. It's hard to speak to him. I think there's a card here somewhere, maybe? He also seems to have no appetite. The basketball broadcast is on. It seems Dad is not really paying attention to it. How about just turn on the TV if not paying attention to it? Ooh. I look at the photo stand. It was a photo of a baby. It's the only picture when I was a baby. Half is torn, but I don't know the reason why. Oh, maybe that one is your twin brother. A photo when I was a baby. It's torn half. I don't know why it's torn. I cleaned the dishes. Among the even linger awkwardness, then my dad mumbled something.
さっきはすまなかった
I'm sorry I raised my
怒
voice
鳴り
at
声
you.
を上げて
At you.
あ、
Yeah, you
びっくりした
startled me. Well, my dad started this word as he lost, perhaps about the argument from earlier. I think I don't remember these choices from the phone, but
お父さん
Dad,
言いたくなったら無理して言
you
わな
don't
くて
want
いいよ
you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I said this out of concern for him. He's quiet and his face is scary, but despite his appearance, I know he is very kind. Even when he scolded me, he rarely let his emotion get the better of him. For him to say something like that, there has to be some reason for it. Even though I'm curious to hear about it, if it's gonna make him feel bad, then I felt he didn't have to tell me. But he shook his head.
もう俺の感情だけで決め
I
るこ
can't
とは
make
できない
decision based on solely on my emotion
今まで
anymore.
黙っていて
I'm
すまな
sorry
か
I
った
kept it from you all this time.
お父さん
Dad,
覚悟が必要だっ
I
たんだ
wasn't ready to tell you. Saying that, he raised his head and looked at me.
実家に来ないかと言われ
He
た
asked me to come visit your grandparents' house.
実家
Grandparents' house?
そうだ
Yeah,
俺
the
が生まれ
house
た
I
相
grew
良
up
の家
in. It was a strange feeling finding about my grandparents' house. I've been living with my dad in this apartment. I never met any relative in such as my grandparents or cousins. My friends told me many times that they visit their grandparents' house during summer vacation or New Year's, but I always thought those things had nothing to do with me.
私にも実家
I
がある
also
の
have grandparents' house?
当たり前だろ
Of course, you
前
do.
はここで生
It's
まれたわ
not
けじゃな
like
いし
you were born
俺の
here.
親
I have
前にとっての
parents,
祖父母だっていたんだ
and that makes them your grandparents.
私に
I have a
お
grandpa and
じいちゃん
grandma.
と
Their existence, though, seem quite really distant from my family, have always just been my dad.
だが父は5年前
But they passed
母
away.
は去年亡くなったんだと
My dad 5 years and my mom last year. What?
その報告だったんだ
That's what he came to tell
俺
me.
を探し出して
It seemed like
よう
he'd
やく
been
見つけ
looking
たら
for
しい
me and finally found me.
いい加減へそを曲げるのは
He
や
told
め
me
て
to stop
墓参りくらい
stop
しに来
being
い
so upset about the past and come visit their grave. The family that I was able to know about all this time. Who'd have thought I would find out about them like this? I have an uncle and my grandparents have already passed away.
ねえお父さん
Hey Dad,
総一
who's
兄さん
Suichi? Uncle Suji said Suichi is also waiting for us to visit.
宗一兄さんは長男で
Suichi is the
俺と修二の
eldest
兄だ
and mine of Suichi's older brother.
お父さんって3人兄弟だったの
You were one of the 3 brothers?
そうだ
Yes.
3人兄弟
They're brothers. The stories about siblings I've heard from my friends who were always living once. They were mostly about complaining about each other, but still they share comic and games and go out to play. I have nothing but any envy as an only child.
兄弟か
Siblings,
いい
how
な
awesome.
だが
But apparently Suichi passed away too.
お兄さんも
too? Yeah. It was a faint voice that he squeezed out, but it was a much more painful than when he talked about his parents. I wonder how my dad lived in my family. What could have possibly happened for him to cut his ties with them? I looked at my father's face and couldn't find the right word to say, and then he muttered,
行きたいか
Do you want to go? What?
行ってみたいか
Do you want to go to your grandparents' house
おじいさんと
to
お
visit
ばあ
their
さんの
grave?
墓参り
grandparents' house, grandpa and grandma visiting their grave. All the things I would have irrelevant to me, but secretly yearn for. I don't know. I don't remember this also. I think I better go. Or maybe I don't. Go, don't. Go, don't. I don't know. But I think I need to go. I mean, Mai's curious about her grandparents visiting their grave, so I think
行ってみたい。
I want to go.
今
There's
ま
so
で
much
知らな
I
かったこ
never
とばっ
knew
かりだ
about.
し。それに
Plus, I
行
think
っ
I
た
should
方
go
がいいんじゃないか
to.
な
I。should go too.
だってお父さ
You
んとお
lost
母
your
さん
mom
と
and
お
dad
兄さんが
and
亡くな
brother,
ったんでしょ。
right?
私だったら
It was me.
もし
I'd
死ん
be
じゃった
sad
時
if I
に
didn't come to
お
see
父さんが会い
me
に来
when
て
I
くれなか
die.
ったら
He looked at us in deep in thought for a moment, but relaxed his shoulder and said,
そうだな。
"You're right,
舞
Mai.
の言う通り
I'll
だ。
be sad too if you didn't
俺も
come
舞が
come
来てくれ
and
なかっ
visit
たら
me."
寂しい。
Okay, I think I did the right choice. Seeing him snoring under the cover after a few drinks, I couldn't tell that he felt relief having talked about it. I also had family other than my dad. Will I also be able to find out about my mom? I took out the survey of future paths which I had left in my bag. Maybe the reason I can choose my path because I barely know myself. If I know about the past, my family, myself, then maybe I'll be able to see where my future path is going. I've always been worried. I was worried that going to high school would be a financial burden on my dad. That maybe my existence is getting in the way of his choices at a second marriage and happiness. I hated myself for thinking that way. Maybe I'll be able to change myself. I want to change. A week later, my dad came home from work and said,
舞、秋
Mike,
分の日の祝日は予
remember
定を
to
空けてお
clear
けよ。
your schedule for the Yotsume holiday.
あと、次の日の
Also,
金
you
曜日は
have
学
to
校休むことになるがい
take
いか
a day
俺
off
も休みを取
from
る。
school the next day. Is that okay? I also take a day off. What?
墓参りだよ。
We're going to
行くんだ
visit
ろ？
the grave, remember? Oh yeah, yes.
そうだ。制服を
And
忘れるなよ。
don't forget
う
to
ちは
bring
仏教じゃない
your
が、一
school
周忌のような
uniform
ものだ。
even though we're
舞
not
の清掃は制服だからな。
Buddhist is something similar to the first anniversary of the past one's passing. So your formal wear is your uniform.
分かった
Okay. Dad hasn't forgotten his promise. It's not even every day that he got to go somewhere together. My heart was racing with excitement. I tried hard out to show how excited I was. Clear? That was it? Wait, that was it? Go to the main. Okay guys, so I think that's only my pass. We're going to continue next part of the video. We'll be at the next one. That will be House of Sagara. Okay, that's all for now. Hope you enjoy. So, shalom and the video. Goodbye.